All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to guide you through all levels of yoga for 45 minutes. As we start, just a reminder to listen to your body. If any of the stretches aren't working for you, please skip them, come on out and modify. So today I would love to start up in standing. So we'll just find a nice, comfortable standing position. And as you start out in standing, let's take our feet right in line with our hips. Try to feel that your feet are as straight as you can have them. So we just don't want our toes to be turning in or out too much. And we're just going to start with a little release on our shoulders. Take your shoulders up to the ears, create a large circle, and relax your shoulders down. Take a full breath in, draw your shoulders up, back, and down. And then one more time, we're going to breathe in. And we're going to breathe out. And then as you let your shoulders relax, we're going to allow for our eyes to close. And taking a moment here to drop into our breath and our body. Maybe feel your feet firmly planted and lifting up your 10 toes and then just slowly placing them down. Try to feel that really strong connection through your feet. Add a gentle bend into your knees, a slight tuck to your tailbone, and then lengthen your spine. We're going to lengthen the back of the neck, reach and stretch out through the crown of the head. And then dropping in, we'll begin to connect to the rise and the fall of the breath. And then lengthening your breath as you inhale and lengthening the breath as you exhale. And then maybe encouraging your exhale to be a little bit longer than your inhale. And then if you would like, set an intention for your practice today. So intention really could be anything that you'd like it to be, maybe to clear the mind of thoughts, to keep the breath flowing in and out. Intentions are a nice way to connect us to the practice and to help make the practice our own. Let's start today by sweeping the hands up to the sky. We're going to interlock our fingers and then press your palms right and up. And we're just going to do a little shifting to the left and to the right. And just a little wiggling here in the waist. This one is a nice lateral stretch for your spine. Let's release those hands to the right. We're going to pause for a moment. Feel your left hip pressing off to the left and just letting that guide you deeper into your side stretch. Flow back to neutral, lengthen, and release to the left. Try to feel really grounded through both of your feet. We're going to come back into neutral, realign, sweep your hands behind your body. Let's come into a yoga mudra. Fingers will interlock, palms will touch, and imagine squeezing a pencil between the shoulder blades, folding yourself down when you're ready. And try to relax the front of your shoulders and just noticing if that can help you move a little deeper into your shoulder stretch. Hands can relax onto your low back. Hands can float down to the yoga mat. And let's take a fold here and we're just going to shake it out in that fold. You can bend your knees, you can relax your head yes, and relax your head no. Hands will float to the right. Let's try a side stretch here. And ground firmly through both of your feet, inside and outside of each foot. Let's come back to neutral. Float your hands to the other side, reaching and stretching from that right waist, lengthen through side body, arm, and fingertips. Let's take ourselves back into our fold. Plant your hands and right foot begins to float back. Right knee will lower down and hands are going to reach to the sky as you breathe in. We're going to work with Anjanae Asana. We're going to come to a knee down warrior. And then try to feel that your hips are sinking forward and down here. So you want to get this really nice hip flexor and psoas stretch on the right side. We're going to bring those hands to the earth. take your left knee to meet your right knee. We're going to line up in a tabletop here. Let's lower our stomach down. We're going to lift up through the heart space. Let your tailbone lower and the crown of the head will lower. And then flow through cat and dog for a moment. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. Lengthen your spine as you exhale. As you inhale, let's relax those shoulders away from the ears. We just want to create a little bit of space here between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. And then on the exhale, rounding your back body. So imagine creating space between the shoulder blades. Let's come into a neutral spine here. Right foot's going to take a big hop up in between those hands. Let's come into that knee down warrior on the other side. So we're going to reach those hands up when you're ready. So maybe try to be on the upper part of your left knee. That tends to be a little bit softer part of the knee and a little bit fleshier part of the knee. Let's release it. We're going to come back into our fold. Left foot meets our right foot. And take a half lift here. We're going to find a flat back. Fold to the earth. Let's come on up, rising some mountain. Hands at the heart space as you breathe out. Hands are going to sweep up. Let's take a nice full breath in here. Fingers will interlock and then release your index fingers. We come into steeple. We're going to lengthen. Release your hands to the right. We'll come back into that half moon pose. Try to feel your left hip pressing off to the left, just guiding you deeper into your stretch. Coming back to neutral, we're going to realign, lengthen, and release to the left. And almost create a little sensation that your left hand could pull your right hand to the left side of the room. So just guiding you deeper into the stretch. Come back into neutral. Let's do a little release on the hands. Hands behind your body. Fingers will interlock. Palms will touch. We're going to take that nice full breath to lengthen. Folding forward. Breathe out. And then just seeing if that helps you relax deeper into the stretch as you breathe. Just letting go of tension here. Hands relax onto the ground. Right foot takes your float back. Let's come back to runner's lunge. We're going to lower that right knee down into the mat. And then begin to bend and straighten your front leg. And then as you move here, just moving to the rise and the fall of the breath. And then lengthening on in-breath, lengthening on out-breath. Let's take a moment here. We'll begin to straighten our front leg. We're going to fold forward for a moment. Allow for the spine to relax. Let go of tension through the back of the head, through the back of the neck. Bending into your front knee. And let's just let those hips sink forward and down for just a moment. We'll take this really nice hip and leg opener. Left hand is going to reach to the sky. Let's take a nice full breath in here. Back into a nice twist for Anjanae Asana. Lengthen on in-breath. And reset. We're going to float ourselves into table. Left knee meets right knee, and then circle out through your hips a bit here. So maybe find large circles, maybe find smaller circles. And circle in the other direction. Come back into neutral. Let's take that right foot up in between the hands. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. And so if the ground is really far away, you may want to bring your hands on blocks for support. That'll bring the ground a little higher up. And just feel the in-breath and the out-breath moving you to deeper stretching here. Straighten your right leg. Let's come into that fold. If you wanted, you could draw your right hip back, draw the left hip forward just a tiny bit. Bending into your front knee. Let's let those hips sink forward and down for a moment here. Right hand lifts up. Let's take a twist. As you're twisting, maybe play with your gaze. Sometimes if you look up to the sky, it just gives you a little bit more of a stretch for your neck. We're going to release. Let's come into runner's lunge and find your way into plank. As you find plank, knees can lower down if you would like. And we're going to work with space pose. We're going to lower all the way down to the mat. Let your hands come right out in front. Elbows in line with your shoulders, and reach for opposite arms here, and then hands float right out in the front. So we're going to take a nice gentle low back bend. Option to stay here. Hands can press down, elbows lift up, and elbows drop in towards one another a little bit, bringing us into low Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. Arms can straighten if you would like. That's going to bring us to feel. Feel yourself reach and stretch through the crown of the head. Float yourself down. Let's take a full breath in here. We're going to press ourselves back. Let's take a down dog when you're ready. And as you take your down dog, let's shake it out a little bit. Bend your knees and relax your head yes, and relax your head no. Let's come on forward. We're going to take it back into a fold. As you breathe here, let's take a half lift. We're lifting, lengthening the spine, folding to the earth. Coming up, rise into mountain. Hands at the heart space, breathing out. Hands extend up, breathe, and fold. Take your halfway lift. Let's plant those hands. Line yourself up for plank. Return to that high push-up pose. And lower down chaturanga. Let's try an up dog this time. We're going to breathe, open the chest and open up your heart space. Press back to down dog when you're ready. Come on forward. Let's land back in that forward fold. Halfway lift and release. Let's come on up, rising, and hands at the heart space. Let's try one more sun salutation A. Hands extend up, breathing, and fold. Take that half lift. Let's plant those hands. Make your way to plank. Feel those hands really grounded. Lower down chaturanga. We're going to take our upward facing dog. So open the chest and open up your heart space. Down dog, breathe out. And forward, let's come back into that fold. Take a half lift. And release. Let's rise on up for mountain pose. Hands at the heart space as you breathe out. Right foot begins to lift, and we're going to come into crane. We're going to come into Balikakasana. So for crane, we're going to take that right leg to a 90-degree angle, and then arms will come out into chi with soft wrists, elbows, and shoulders, and find your drishti. Find that one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. Let's begin to work a little bit with the Shiva squat. So we're going to take our right foot to the left. Little bend in the knees. Legs can always stay straight. And you can lower yourself all the way down too if you'd like. Maybe grab a blanket to add a little padding. We're going to begin to rise up. And as we rise up, let's give that leg a kick out to the side. We'll do a gorilla kick. And then we're going to sweep our foot back. Landing back into that Shiva squat. Rising up. And release. Let's take that one 5 more times. And then let's release it. We're going to come back into our Shiva squat. Rise up, find your way to crane. And then from crane, let's come back to crescent. Right foot steps back. Right heel is lifted. Hands are going to reach and stretch to the sky as you breathe in. Try to feel that your right leg is super active. Press firmly through the heel. Back of the knee, leg is active and leg is energized. Let's lower those hands down. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. So we worked it with a flow really similar to this just a moment ago, but the knee was down. So that's kind of building on that, intensifying the stretch, giving us a little bit more stretch, a little bit more hip opening, more stretch for that low back. Let's begin to straighten the front leg, folding for a moment. Come on through. We're going to bend into that front knee. Let's take that left hand to the sky. We'll come into a twist. As you lengthen here, spine is lengthening with in-breath. Twist is deepening on out-breath. Let's release ourselves back into runner's lunge. Transition into plank. Let's lower down chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Reach and stretch out through the crown of your head and press back to down dog. Breathe out. Come on forward. We're going to come back into that fold. Take a half lift here. Fold it forward. Come on up. Rise. Hands at heart space. Breathing out. Let's take our left leg up. We'll try crane on the other side. Find your drishti. Find that one spot to focus your concentration, to focus your awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. From here, we're going to come into our Shiva squats. And then as you rise up, let's take those gorilla kicks. And then when that feels ready, let's take ourselves back to that Shiva squat. We're going to come back into crane. And then from crane, we're going to float it back to crescent warrior. Feel your hips, shoulders squaring forward, tailbone tucks, core engages. Hands lower down. Let's land in that lunge. Begin to bend, straighten your front leg. Straighten that front leg. Let's come to runner's stretch. Spine relaxes, head, neck, relax, release. Come on through, runner's lunge, right hand lift, and runner's twist. And as you're twisting here, let's breathe into stomach, ribs, and chest, releasing from chest, ribs, and stomach. Let's release. We're going to float ourselves back into lunge, do a little reset to plank, lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog. Let's try to relax our shoulders away from the ears. We're going to press back to down dog, breathe out. Knees will begin to lower. And coming into a child's pose here, let's come into Garbhasana. So as you set up in child's pose, maybe create a little movement, sometimes shifting around a little bit can help you settle into the stretch. Try to feel your hips lowering to the heels as you exhale. Try to feel that the heart is lowering down to the exhale. And then we're going to breathe into our low back, mid back, and upper back. And then we will begin to release. Let's come up. We're going to press into a down dog when you're ready. And then from down dog, let's come into plank. We'll try a high push-up pose. As you come into plank, let's lift that right hand up for side plank. We're going to roll into the outer edge of our left foot. And from here, we're going to take a tree side plank. You're going to bring your right foot anywhere on the left leg that feels comfortable, and then lift your hips to the sky. From here, we're going to flip ourselves to wild thing. So you're just going to let your right foot flip off to the left side of the room. Try to be right onto the toes, so your heels lifted up. And then let's lift those hips up towards the sky. We're just going to breathe here. It's that nice stretch for our body. Core engages. We're going to shift a little bit on the hands and the feet. Let's take a 3-limbed dog. And then float yourself through. Let's come into warrior one pose from here. In warrior one. Let's feel really grounded in the feet. Press firmly to your front foot. Press firmly into your back foot. And then almost create a little sensation that you could pull your feet in towards one another. So legs are super active, engaged, and energized. Let's bring those hands behind our body. Fingers will interlock, palms will touch. We're going to take a nice full breath to lengthen and fold forward. And release. Let's come back on through. Warrior one. Take a full breath here and open into warrior two pose. In warrior two, try to feel that the shoulders are over your hips. You don't want to be leaning forward or back too much. Feel your tailbone tuck. Feel your navel move back and up to the spine slightly. And then create that line that flows through your spine. Lengthening back of neck, reach and stretch through crown of head. Reverse, let's take that front hand up and float it back. Back hand can glide down your back leg, maybe wrap the arm around your low back and reach for the other hip crease. Come on through for warrior two, and then let's take it down to a lateral angle. Maybe extended lateral angle. You can always drop the hands up as well, coming into a bind, and then just trying to collapse here into the bottom shoulder. Just try to create a little lifting here and a little bit of lengthening in that bottom shoulder. Core engages. Take it back on through for warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Front hand up and back. Breathing here. Let's expand through the lungs and expanding through the ribs. So full breath in and full breath out. We're going to take that one back on through. Let's transition to warrior two. Windmill the hands to the earth. Runner's lunge. Find your way into plank. Lower down chaturanga. Let's take that upward facing dog. Breathe into your back bend for the 3 parts of your back. We're going to take it to down dog. Breathe out. Flow yourself forward. Let's come back into plank. We're going to take that high push-up pose. As you set up in plank, left hand to the sky for side plank. And then bring your left foot anywhere on the leg that feels comfortable for our tree side plank. Hips lift to the sky, hand reaches and stretches in the sky as well. Foot can flip over. We're going to try wild thing. You're going to just be on the blade of that right foot. Tippy toes of your left foot. Hips are lifting to the sky. Shifting a little bit on your hands and feet. Let's find a 3-limbed dog. And come on through. We're going to rise and up. Take warrior one pose. Connect with your breath. Breathe into your stomach, ribs and chest. And then releasing from your chest, ribs and the stomach. Hands behind your body. Fingers interlock, palms touch. We're gonna lengthen and fold. And core engages. Let's come back on up for warrior one. Open into warrior two. And ground into your feet. Almost create a sensation that you could pull your feet in towards one another. So legs are super active, engaged, and energized. Reverse. We're going to float our front hand up and back. Breathing here, expanding your lungs and ribs. And back on through. Let's take it to warrior two. Release yourself down for a lateral angle. And then maybe extended lateral angle. And just trying not to collapse here into that bottom shoulder. Create a little lifting here, a little bit of lengthening here. Core engages. Let's float back on up, rising for warrior two. Windmill the hands to the earth. Let's transition to a runner's lunge. This time, let's take our right foot forward, landing in a fold. Take a half lift and release. We're going to come on up, rising for mountain pose. Hands at the heart space, breathing out. Let's take our right hand for the right foot. We'll try a Yogi Toe Hold. So for this one, you can take your index finger and your thumb and your big middle finger and index finger. We're just going to wrap them around the big toe. So if you need to grab onto something for a little balancing help, do that. You can grab a wall or a chair, and then option to stay standing here. You may want to kick your leg out in front of you. And then option to take your right foot off to the right. And breathing. Maybe noticing where you're holding on to tension. And then with your exhale, letting that tension go. We'll gently release. Let's come back to neutral. Feet wider than hips and sweep the arms side to side. And coming back into a neutral position. Let's take our left hand. We're going to reach for the toes. Core engages. Maybe straighten out your leg if you would like. Maybe take your foot off to the side. Breathing. Full breath in, full breath out. And then we're going to release. You can do a little reset. Feet can come a little bit wider than the hips and arms sweep side to side. And taking a moment to work with a Moon Salutation. So the Moon Salutation is a really nice flowing movement through the yoga mat. So if you're facing the front of your yoga mat, I'm just going to have you take a quarter turn to the right or to the left so that you're facing the screen. And we're just going to kind of flow through the mat like this. So we're going to start with our hands reaching up. Let's take our fingers interlocking, press your palms to the sky. We're going to lengthen our spine, release your hands to the left. Roll your left shoulder under, right shoulder rolls back. Feel that the heart is shining to the sky. Come on through neutral, lengthen and release your hands off to the right. And try to feel grounded evenly through both of your feet. You're going to come back into neutral. You can release those hands and left foot's going to take a big step off to the left. We're going to work with Goddess. So toes will turn out. Heels will shift in, take a deep bend into your knees, and then arms will sweep up to Goddess arms. Let your tailbone tuck here. Feel your navel move back and up to the spine slightly. And then try to create that line that flows through your spine. So lengthen the back of your neck, reach and stretch through the crown of your head. We're going to take our left elbow to our left knee and reset to Goddess. Right elbow to the right knee. Realign and side to side for a moment. Make sure that you're not sticking out the butt on this one. Engage your core. For more challenge, bend deeper into your knees. Really let those hips sink down towards the earth. Coming back into neutral. Let's take warrior two to the back of the yoga mat. I'm going to shift on the feet a little bit. Open those hands out. Relax your shoulders from your ears. Try to create that space between the ears and the shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. We're going to come into reverse warrior. Front hand floats up and back. Core engages. Back on through. Warrior two. Take it down to a lateral angle. And then maybe extended lateral angle if you'd like to go there. Trying not to create that collapsing in your bottom shoulder. Also roll that top shoulder back. Get almost like a little twist sensation. Engage your core. Let's float back on through. Warrior two. Windmill your hands to frame your front foot. Walk your hands to the right, landing in a fold with your legs wide, and shake it out a little bit. It may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee. Relax your head, yes, and relax your head now. Let's come into stillness here. We're going to walk those hands out in front, and we're going to take a down dog with the legs wide. Send your weight back into your heels. Hands are light. Almost create a little sensation that the hands could lift from the mat. And then walking your hands into your body, and then walk your hands underneath you. We're going to take it into a fold forward. Try to send your weight forward into your toes. Heels are lighter. And release. We're going to float ourselves back into our fold. Release into goddess. We're going to engage our core to come back on up. Toes out, heels in, tailbone will tuck. Let's create a little sweeping movement with the arms. So we're just going to take our left arm on top, right arm on bottom, and release. Sweeping the arms up and down. And we'll just go at our own pace for a moment. So if you wanted to intensify that stretch, deeper bend into your knees. Tailbone tuck, navel back and up to the spine slightly. Let's begin to release back into goddess. Warrior two to the front of the room. Let's breathe here. We're going to breathe into our stomach, ribs, and chest. And then releasing from your chest, ribs, and stomach. Reverse. Float it up, float it back. Back on through. Warrior two, let's take it to a lateral angle, and then extended lateral angle. Breathing here. Full breath in, full breath out. Core engages, back on up. Warrior two, let's windmill the hands to the earth. Land in your lunge. Walk your hands to the left. Find your fold and shake it out in your fold. Bend your knees. Head relaxes yes and no. Coming into a twist. Right hand will plant in front of your face. Left hand to the sky as you exhale. Lengthen your spine on your in-breath. Let your twist deepen on your out-breath. And release. Float it back on down. Planting that left hand, right hand lift. Roll that right shoulder back, left shoulder under, heart is shining to the sky. Release, let's float ourselves back to neutral, core engages, float on up, goddess pose. Let's take our goddess pose, we're gonna work side stretch here. So that right arm is gonna wrap around your low back, left arm is gonna wrap around your head, lengthen and release your head to the right. We're gonna work with a nice side stretch for the spine. Rolling that left shoulder back, right shoulder under, heart is shining up, core engages. We're going to do a little windmill of the arms to change them up, lengthen and twist slightly. Really try to reach and stretch from your right waist, lengthen through that whole side body, arm and fingertips. Come on back to neutral, core engages, back to goddess, hands to spread heart, legs will straighten, toes turn in. Left foot takes a big step to meet your right foot. Hands are gonna reach up, breathe here. Let's take our right hand and reach for our left wrist. We're gonna lengthen and release your hands to the right. Feel that right hand pulling your left hand to the right, just guiding you deeper into the stretch. Realign, lengthen, change up the grip for your hands, and release to your left. Full breath in, full breath out. Come back to neutral, hands at heart space as you exhale. So that was one complete moon salutation. I don't know if anyone got a glimpse of the moon, but we had a full moon last night. It was so big and so beautiful. So from here, let's take that quarter turn and we're just gonna face the front of our yoga mat again. We're gonna work with a really nice hip opener now. Hands are gonna reach up, full breath here. Hinge at your hips and fold to the earth. We're gonna take that half lift. Plant your hands and come into plank. We'll find that high push-up pose. Take yourself to down dog when you're ready. Right leg to the sky. We're gonna bend, stack, and open. And then float that knee through. We'll come into pigeon. Right knee off to the right side of the yoga mat. Have your knee in line with your hip or have it off to the right. We just don't want it to move to center too much. You can reach back for your left foot if you'd like. You can take your hand for your foot. You can pull that foot in. And we're just gonna breathe here for a moment. Maybe close your eyes. Maybe noticing where you might be holding on to tension. And then with the exhale, letting that tension go. Letting your body relax. Letting your body release into the stretch. Releasing your legs, square your hips and shoulders forward, lengthen your spine, and let yourself fold down when you're ready. Feel the eyes closing, and feel free to create some movement here. Sometimes a little gentle rocking around side to side can help ease you into the stretch a bit more. Try to relax your eyebrows, relax your jaw. Try to let go of tension through the shoulders, through arms and hands. And relaxing the upper, mid, and low back. And then relaxing your legs and relaxing the feet of any tension. Let's begin to release. We're going to press ourselves back. We're going to come into that down dog when you're ready. So toes will curl under. We're going to take those sitting bones to the sky. And then let's sweep our left leg to the sky when you're ready. We're going to bend the knee, stack and open through your hips. And then float that knee through. And we're going to take our quad stretch as we begin. Hips and shoulders square forward. Breathe in and breathe out. And quad stretch to start. So quad stretch are so important. You know, when we're sitting a lot, the quads really shorten when we're at the desk and driving or sitting on the couch, things like this. The quads tend to shorten and the hamstrings lengthen. So in the yoga practice, it's so important to try to create a little bit more length in the front of the legs. And this one is also going to be really good too for your hip flexor and your psoas. We were working that earlier when we did the knee down warriors. And that's really great because that's the first thing that shortens when we, you know, are doing our sitting and stuff. Those muscles really tighten up. So a lot of times when we kind of do quad stretches and things like that, it really helps to open up our low backs, which is probably one of the more common complaints that people have. Just with our back is a little cranky. So this will be really good for releasing that. Let's release the foot down. Hips and shoulders square forward, and then let's come in forward. We're going to just take a nice fold here. And then again, feel free to move, and maybe you want to find a little stillness. And try to clear the mind of thoughts. We always have thoughts moving through the mind, maybe thoughts for the past, maybe thoughts for the future. Trying to release the thoughts, bring the awareness to the breath, Bringing awareness to the present moment. And then just remembering the present moment, the only moment where life truly exists. Releasing the stretch. This time, let's roll onto our left hip. And then our right foot's going to take that sweep forward. And then from here, let's come down onto our back. And then as you come down onto your back, hug your knees up and into your chest and into your stomach. And we're going to create a little bit of a circling here. And maybe finding large circles, maybe finding smaller circles. And then circle in the other direction. And then let's begin to release. We're going to take a few moments for relaxation. We'll come into Shavasana. If there's any stretch or pose that you would like to do that will help your practice feel complete, you can come into that. And you can always grab any props that will help support your body as well. Allow for your eyes to close. Allowing for your breath to deepen. Maybe wiggle fingers, wiggle the toes. And let's to the side. We're going to find fetal pose for a moment. You can create a little pillow with the lower arm. Gently support your head. Feel your body take the shape of the posture. Coming on up, let's take it into seated. And as you come into seated, hands can come into the heart space for prayer, for Anjanae Mudra. And taking a moment just to close the eyes and ending with a beautiful Apache prayer. Looking behind, I'm filled with gratitude. Looking forward, I'm filled with vision. Looking upward, I'm filled with strength. Looking within, I discover peace. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I look forward to seeing you next class. Take care.
Thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome, Dave.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.